Um, what the project involves is it's cleaning the masonry and repairing the glass and the masonry, and then new protective wire guards to go on because the current ones aren't that good. And conservation and cleaning of the 4 internationally significant burn-Jones windows. Sorry, can you hear me below?
When you talk like that again.
Sorry, I'll start again. I suddenly realised I was talking to a group just in front of me, so I'll pipe up now. So what we're involved in doing is masonry cleaning and repairs, because obviously the metal and the lead fit into the masonry so the windows don't fall out. Putting new protective wire guards on because the ones that were there aren't very nice. And then conservation and cleaning of the 4 burn-Jones windows. I think, well, I know that last time they came out was during the war, when the Civic Society put them in one of the deep slate mines in Wales. The roof got incendiary bombed, so it's just as well that they did that, because they would have been gone without that.
But do you think they did anything to them when they took them to Wales?
They may have cleaned them at that point. So the question was, did they do anything to them? And I suspect they were cleaned then, but that would have been the last things. So up here we can see parts of all of these 3 windows. The conservation processes, they're very dirty. So you've got 70 years of Birmingham muck, pigeons. Apparently the inside of the Ascension was the dirtiest bit inside. And my claim on that is that's where the choir boys are coming up out of the undercroft. So I think there's bits of choir boy attached to all of that. They're cleaning them with a 50-50 solution of water and acetone. And using, it's not quite as small as cotton buds, but it's like, it's that sort of small bits of cotton wool. So it's a really, really slow process to do that. There's also a number of panels needing to go. If you look at the back of the Ascension, you can see where some of the panels have come out of that. So they've just got clear plastic over them. That's where there's generally to do with there being problems with the leading on the stained glass windows. So obviously stained glass windows, the bits of stained glass are joined together with lead, and if they need to do that, they've taken the panel out. It was going to be 20% of the window surface going off to be repaired, but I think there's a bit more, so it'll take a bit longer because of all that. We're working with a great people called Holywell Glass, who are based in Wales. So the panels they've removed have gone to their studio in Wales, and then will come back and be put back in when they're cleaning. Some of the guys are here doing cleaning in the meantime.
So they're cleaning them in situ?
In situ, so as much as possible it's staying. That's right, the bits where they need to do bigger repair have gone off. One of the really interesting things is right at the bottom of this panel, this window, which is the Ascension, we've got this kaleidoscope of glass that's been revealed. Now, we knew something was there, but we didn't know what it was. There was a panel in front which had asbestos in it, so we had to close for a day while that got taken out safely. And this was revealed, and it's basically what was in William Morris's bit box. So I think in any stained glass studio, you get all sorts. You've got I think that Holywell was saying if you make anything, you make at least three of it. So you have a big box of bits, and he's filled it in. There's obviously a bit of, so it's darker at the top and then lighter as you go down. And some of it's to stop light filtration coming in the bottom. When they put when they extended the chancel in the 1880s, this bit of ground is lower than that bit, so they've had to kind of step it in order to keep the outside and the inside looking similar. So hence they had to put that in.
Is that where they get the expression leathered got?
Must be. Yeah, I guess it is. And Morris obviously would have been aware of so many of the medieval cathedrals at the Reformation, the glass was smashed, but then they put bits back in later on in sort of interesting patterns. So it may well be he was playing on that.
Reference to that,
But it's a wonderful thing to suddenly have that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of revealed when we didn't know what was up, and it would be cleaned by the conservators and it would be covered up again. It's just the only time we will see
Are they
this.
going to cover it up?
Yeah, it'll have to be covered up
Oh,
again.
right.
But it distracts from the window.
Oh, okay.
It's, it doesn't really
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
to it. I mean, it was interesting actually. So sitting back in the nave and looking when that was revealed, I'd be looking at it thinking, that looks like a Marc Chagall window. Those in sort of Chichester or somewhere. What biblical story is it? When you come up close, and it's just completely random. Sorry, can you still hear me downstairs, or am I? I'll keep it up. Sorry, I'll do this a second time. I'll try to just shout if I'm too quiet. So stained glass obviously consists of pieces of glass cut to design, and some bits are painted on. So we can see over here with the drapery, that's vitreous glass paint has been painted on to it. Other bits which are much more clear, that'll be colour that's been put into the glass during its manufacture. So you can, so making stained glass, you mix the paint with ground glass. Metallic oxides are used as a colorant. Somebody was saying to me that the very pink ones that we can see over there, that's actually the oxide is gold oxide in order to make that colour. They're fired in a kiln about 675 degrees centigrade, so very hot. These windows are made using incredibly thick cylinder glass. Some of it's up to 8mm thick. Normally it's about 3mm, so it's very thick, very heavy. When I do this a second time, I'll bring a microphone up so you can hear me. Is that all right? Yeah. The conservators were saying some of the panels they've taken off of the west window and taken back to their studio. Actually, it's really hard to see through, even if you shine a light behind it. We get the sun coming through, obviously, in the dawn here and at the end of the day there. Also, Burne-Jones was quite often laying two pieces of glass one over the other, so you get a deeper effect. So we've got the glass paint on top. You can apply silver stain, or you can put on transparent enamel colours, so you can see several of those. So one of the great things with Burne-Jones and with Morris is use of hands and faces, which we can't see a huge amount of there. Again, because it's quite a dark day, we're not getting much coming through, but over this end, and I'm not allowed to go further than this, you can see the face of one of the, so this is the bottom of the crucifixion, and you've got one of the disciples bent over with his hands covering his face. Yeah. And then also on this side, this is the Nativity, and here you can see Mary bending over baby Jesus there with that one. And this is the disciples at the bottom of the Ascension, and Jesus is high above them with that one. Any questions while we're up here?
Just one thing. When you're cleaning it, it's both inside and out, isn't it?
Yeah, so clean both sides, inside and outside, because there'll be muck on both sides.
And is the outside covered over as well? That if we went outside,
yes, so they've got to.
Would be,
yeah,
because it
absolutely.
does look dull at the moment.
Yeah,
doesn't
so
it?
they're covered
and
over.
I remember
Yeah,
it being so
absolutely.
bright.
So they're covered over, and I think particularly, obviously, they've had to take the protective grills off while they do this, so it needs to be. Yeah, you don't want somebody sort of lobbing a brick through it or something like that, which could happen.
Did he do a lot of other windows elsewhere?
He did. There's one in St Martin in the Bullring, and there's a lot that there's a lot. He did a lot of stained glass. These are particularly the Last Judgment is his pretty well his last piece of work. So these really are his most significant stained glass here.
If you go online and you're looking up to find out where his work is, it's all over the place.
It's all over.
In the tiniest or most inconspicuous church might have some burn germs.
Museum and Art Gallery have got a lot of his work, not so much stained glass but others. So when that eventually reopens, that'll be well worth a visit, especially the style of Bethlehem. Is wonderful.
And
should we go down and get the other group?
Wolverhampton has got it's got an archive.
So cool, I've intuited you.
I think it's got an archive of the burn germs windows, particularly the ones that were destroyed. There's a church in Darlston that lost its burn germs window. Somebody had drawn and painted.
If we go down,
So they've got the archive.
Yeah, go on.
spring back, yeah, it springs back on the front. So yeah, shoot you through.
You okay?
That's all right. So would you like to follow the up? I'll try to speak up. Yes. Okay, so second group, would you like to follow the art? And there's somewhere, there's over on the altar, there's a book with a picture of the windows of the ark. What do you see? This is last time. Right, the way that works is not, it's the wrong way around for me. So
Have a kissing gate then.
it is, yeah. You're all right with that. Okay, so if you're all okay to stay in there, so you probably heard a bit of what I was saying, but I'll go through it again. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to get this close to the Burne-Jones windows, which really are, probably the pinnacle of late Victorian, early Edwardian glass. We're having the stonework needs to be cleaned and repaired, and then we could put new wire guards on because the wire guards that were there aren't very nice. And then there's the conservation and cleaning of the windows. There you can see parts of all of the three East End windows here. So we've got the Ascension, Nativity, and Crucifixion there. They're going to be cleaned, or are being cleaned, with a 50-50 solution of acetone and ionised purified water. And it's not quite earbuds, but it's something which is cotton wool, similar size to that. So you can imagine the amount of time that's going to take with all of that. Some of the panels have to go away to be repaired, so you can't really see here, but if you look at behind you at the West End at the Ascension window, you can see where those panels have gone. Those are largely ones where they need to do repair on the leading, because obviously stained glass, you've got, you can see, we've got bits of lead and they need to, which hold the bits together.
So, is the external glass on, or is it
That's it. Just
That's it. That's it. That's what you can see. No, there's nothing on the outside.
You just had like a grid.
Yeah, there was a grid on it. Some of this, it's quite thick glass. It's much thicker than normal, so much heavier. We're looking at it being up to 8 millimetres, whereas normally it's about 3 millimetres for stained glass. And sometimes also he puts 2 bits of glass one on top of the other to deepen or make the colour much more beautiful with that. So it was going to be about 20% of the surface area was having to go off to be repaired. They've discovered it needs to be a bit more than that. I don't know exactly how much. That's going off to Wells, to Holywell Glass's workshop. At the bottom here, we've got this kaleidoscope, which was behind a panel, had asbestos on it, so it's closed for a day, but that was removed safely. We didn't know, we knew there was something behind it, but we didn't know what it was going to be. And when it came out, it was amazing. So it's obviously what was in Morris Studios' bits box. I think when you make stained glass, you always have, you make at least 3, and then it goes in your box. He would have been aware, I think, of the, so many of the medieval cathedrals, the glass was smashed in the Restoration, in the Reformation, and then they kind of put bits in sort of colourful patterns. So I think he was playing on that. It's darker at the top and lighter on the bottom because the light comes through from the bottom, and that sort of means it doesn't, it shows off the window above to greatest effect. And that will be covered up again because it needs to be as it was. So, anyway, so that's a shame. But we've seen something.
Are you going to leave it off for a time?
I think we need it to be finished by November so that we are clear for Christmas. So
Yes, but will you leave that uncovered?
No, they'll have to finish because otherwise we'll have to fake to get scaffolding back in again. And that's really disruptive. It took about 3 weeks to get all the scaffolding installed, so it's quite a big thing. Stained glass usually consists of pieces of glass which are cut to a design, so they've worked out the design and cut it all. You apply paint for details such as drapery or figurative work. So, for example, you can see where flowers have been painted on to the drapery there, or for hands or faces, they've been painting those as well.
And was that painted in situ or before?
So probably before. So again, if you look on our website, there's a picture from the I think it's that one, it's from the 1890s, of the window outside somewhere, presumably in Oxford at Morris's factory, in a wooden frame, and it's all being put in. So they would have been looking at it as it all came in, but it would have been made in bits and then put in, and then taken back into its panels and transported here and put in here. So you mix up the ground glass with the metal oxides and different oxides for different colours. You can't really see it, that's very pink over there. And apparently the oxide to make it pink is gold oxide, so you grind up gold in order to get that colour. And it goes in the kiln at 675 degrees Celsius. So nice and warm in order to make that. I've spoken about the thickness of the glass, and that's a significant choice in order to help the way the windows hold the light and appear to be three-dimensional. So we've got the bottom of the Ascension there. Nativity, you can see, just make out baby Jesus and Mary kneeling over him on that side. That window, it's Jesus born in a cave, so it's a little bit like the Orthodox icons where Christ is in a cave rather than in a stable. And then this side we've got the bottom of the crucifixion, so particularly what you can see over here, there's one of the disciples kneeling with his head in his hands. Yeah. So any questions before we go? Actually, let's go down and then we can ask. Go on.
What are those labels?
Yes. So those are conservation labels, and that says Birmingham Cathedral E26, E16, E2D. So that must be whatever code. I think when they take them out, but it's easier to know exactly how you're going to put them back in. Yeah.
So they actually take out.
They take out the panels that need to be
But
repaired. Not all of them. So most of them will stay in place and just be cleaned in place. But there are some where there's been cracked in there.
There's no extra painting done.
There might be a bit of restoration of some of the painting, yeah, particularly where there's been quite a lot of damage. So yeah.
Why is so much red?
He loved it.
He loved
red. He loved red.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Yeah.
Can't hear it in another concert because all these things have lots of red.
Absolutely.
It's very red.
It's extremely red, and quite how bright they're going to be once they've been cleaned.
I know.
It's going to be an amazing thing. So come back and see. Yeah. So are we all right to go back down? And then I can, yeah, we can call it good back. Well, it's health and safety, so you can't fall through a hole or put your backs onto it. Yeah. So if I could get everybody's attention again, if you want to put the hats on the sleeve there, we'll stick them underneath the. So I wanted to talk a little bit. How much time have we got? Something a bit about the life of the cathedral as well as everything else. Obviously, we're one of the newer cathedrals. We're sat down in the centre of the city, so our doors are open throughout the day. One of the interesting features, I think, with our outside, our church, is with the privatisation of space in the city centre. So in the business where you've got quite a lot of the squares have been sold to developers. So actually, if you sort of sit down and get the money stage, you know, well, we move on with the security. So it's quite an important part of the city centre here. As long as you're a social, really well followed. So there's a bit of century, definitely. So it's really, definitely looking at that. Also, this is one of the things about ecology. It's one of the few green spaces of this part of the city centre as well, to keep that going. One of the things which we've done since the first lockdown is we do breakfast for homeless and the artists hungry. On Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, immediately outside, it works better if it's outside. We actually get a pocket out of the first people coming. So it's quite a big. But there's something very beautiful about doing it immediately under the last 20 window. With that window, at the top you've got Christ sitting in judgment surrounded by angels. Then there's a really dark cityscape. It's almost futurist, but it's 1890s rather than 1920s. It's probably Birmingham, really grimy in the 1890s. It's really just a dark cityscape. And you've got people, figures underneath that were all looking up at Christ. And if you didn't have the scaffolding, one of the things you would notice, as you come right up here, you can't see the nativity and crucifixion windows because they're boxed like pillars. And I think part of the reason for that was that obviously the high altar would have been right back against the wall. And you would come up to receive communion. As you come up, the story of Christian faith unfolds. You receive communion, you turn around and you're in front of other last judgment and say, yes, and so obviously you're thinking about the last judgment. We've got Jesus' teaching in Matthew 25, which you can go to, that gives these things. Mass readings next Sunday is giving a couple of water to one of the little ones. Think about that. So how we can be determined that we're a place where we are I don't know how long it's been there, probably since the 50s when the liturgy moved slightly from Catholic liturgy. We are. And actually, one of the beautiful things we do is working very closely with ecumenical colleagues. So we've worked with homeless people this Sunday. We and Methodist colleagues, Catholic colleagues, do